do them live.
Turning to Washington, any time now, President Biden will be speaking also with Attorney General Merrick Garland about his administration's plan to fight the surging crime across the nation. Now, many Republicans are blaming the rise in violence on the Democrats' push, for instance, to defund police in certain cities throughout the country. But White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki is shifting to blame somewhere else.
It is an area where the president feels a great deal of the crime we're seeing as a result of gun violence. You can expect he'll speak to that and his commitment to continuing to address gun violence and gun safety in the country.
Now, joining us to discuss is Democratic strategist and author of Build Back Better, the First 100 Days of the Biden Administration and Beyond, Kelly Hyman, and host of Bold TV, David Grasso. David, what do you think of this focus? It looks like it's going to be on guns. I don't know if we have that to show, but we're expecting the president to come out any time now to talk about this. So what's your thought on it?
Well, this is a perfect storm of factors that are occurring, right? It's not just guns. Guns are part of the story, but we're also dealing with COVID shutdowns and sudden openings. As we all know as journalists, summer is a time of peak violence. There's a backlog in the criminal justice system. There's low morale among officers because of cultural changes, specifically a negative perception of police and policing. And of course, well-intentioned reforms that haven't gone well, like getting rid of cash bail in New York City. So just characterizing this as a gun problem, a little intellectually dishonest. It's a very complicated problem for sure.
Yeah. Kelly, what do you expect to hear from the president?
Well, as you know, Heather, Second Amendment is a right to bear arms. But I think he's going to talk about the issue about gun safety. This should be bipartisan. We should agree about it, that we should have some kind of safety measures and make sure that people go through proper procedures and background checks to make sure we're all safe.
And that will do it? That'll change everything?
You know, I hope there's a lot of other issues as well. I definitely think that mental health is a serious issue as well, and I think that that's something that needs to be addressed as well.
Well, like what, Kelly?
Mental health, about people that have mental health issues, about dealing with them and about them getting guns, about people from coming over that shouldn't be allowed guns that are getting guns as well. I think it's definitely an issue. I think it's something that we can all agree on, whether you're Republican, Democrat, or independent, that there needs to be some type of gun safety for the American people.
Yeah, David, I'm not sure if we can bring up a graphic that we had earlier that just had these outlandish increases in numbers when you take a look at the percentages of homicides versus the shooting deaths that have happened across this country. They were primarily Democratic-run cities where there have been calls repeatedly to defund the police, amongst some other things. Portland is one of the numbers I can remember off the top of my head because it was an increase.
500% increase, something like
533% increase in the number of homicides in Portland alone. Atlanta, New York City, all these numbers, these Democratic-run cities that you continually hear about. So your response to that, and how do you think that the president should respond to that, and will he?
Well, this is a very touchy issue, specifically because gun ownership is increasing among two demographics, liberals, gay people, minorities. Gun ownership surged during the pandemic. And secondly, defunding the police. Police reforms are important, and I don't think anyone really liked seeing what happened in Minneapolis. But a lot of these well-intentioned reforms are now coming home to roost. And in fact, part of President Biden's plan would actually, in Bill Bratton's words, refund the police. So what Jennifer Psaki's saying doesn't exactly check out. Of course, guns are part of the problem. They're always part of the problem, but it's not the solution to a very complex problem that's afflicting many places across the United States, as your graphic just showed.
Yeah. Kelly, a final word.
I think it'd be great for us to come together, whether you're Republican, Democrat, or independent, and talk about gun safety to make sure that all Americans are safe, but also all Americans have the right to bear arms under the Second Amendment.
All right. Thank you very much, Kelly Hyman and David Grasso. We appreciate you joining us.
Of course.
And coming up, more of America.